big weekend it's been.
Oh my God. Well, it was your birthday yesterday.
It was my birthday yesterday, a huge birthday weekend.
It was so much
Unbelievable.
fun.
Yes, so
Yeah.
much fun. It was really fun. It was nice to be, I did a Zoom birthday. So it was
Mhm.
nice to be with my friends, COVID safe, kind of lit in a video conference.
I mean, like one singular shot. So I don't know.
After, so it was a magic show. And then after Alex, the magician, left,
Yes.
people popped back into the Zoom. So there was
Oh,
kind of like,
really?
yeah, there
A
was a
little
like
after
a
party.
Zoom after party.
And also, I mean, like, you have a lot of friends also, Jenny. Just want to like put
Thank
that
you.
out there. Very
Yeah.
hot friends too.
What, hot friends? Yeah.
Very hot. Yeah.
They were all, yeah, I know. There are so many very attractive people who were in the Zoom.
Yeah,
It was, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Including the magician himself,
I know, an extremely hot magician, not one of the ones that I've hooked up with.
which is
But
insane to me. I
I
mean,
know,
like, for
crazy.
you to have just like a sort of like this Venn diagram of like magicians, whether you've dated them or not, I
Hmm.
just think is insane because I don't personally know a single magician. I
I
guess
know.
now, I
Well,
mean,
now
I
you know
know
one, but
of, yeah,
I have an entire Rolodex, which is just something fun about me.
which is a sickness, I believe.
It is a disease, actually.
Yeah.
But Alex, I mean, he's so talented at Alexander Boyce. Everyone should look him up and look up his magic. It's so good. But he does have a girlfriend and he lives with 6 doves, I think, which is just, that's not a responsibility I would ever want to take on.
Has a having a girlfriend or
Having a girlfriend or 6
or
doves.
six
They
dogs.
spend all night cooing.
Gosh,
That's what
wow.
doves do.
That is insane. Well, I mean, like now recently I am becoming more bird friendly because I have
True.
this bird feeder. I don't know if you can see it. It's yeah, here it is.
Beautiful.
Right there. Next to my little office area of my apartment. And this morning it was just rummaged through by I would say like up to like 6, 7 birds at one time.
Well,
Um,
that's very much Disney princess vibes.
Disney Princess vibes. I did ask them to sweep my floor. They did say no.
They're like, absolutely not. I'm not doing your house chores.
I have the
Like,
messiest floors. Yeah.
yeah, no way. No,
Gosh.
bitch. I
Yeah.
love that for the birds. They
Hmm.
have, they're like, uh, no, just feed me and then I'm going to go, which is
They're
how
so
I
sweet.
act on dates. So
Yeah. But
they, they
there
get my
was
vibe.
there were some doves that definitely cannot fit into the bird feeder, and they just like sort of like stand by the bird feeder and they just like look at it, which is really sad.
That
But
is, so your bird feeder is kind of body shaming the
body
unsize
shaming
of
this
birds.
body shaming that dove, yes.
Sad.
That
That's
dove
very
should
upsetting.
feel bad about its body ultimately, I believe.
It's not allowed to have seed. No feed for the
Mm-mm.
bird.
But yeah,
I
finches, absolutely.
Finches are cuter than pigeons and
Yeah,
chunky doves. Sorry to say it.
yeah, you gotta
Sorry to
lose some
say.
weight.
Oh my god. Oh no. So I went on that Zoom date that I had for everyone who was just anxiously awaiting to hear how my date with the cardiologist, aka the
Yes,
heart doctor, went. He does not look like his pictures at all.
just so sad.
It was so disappointing. And he sounded not at all like I expected, which is maybe rude of me, but once I heard his voice, I was a little bit like, oh no, I don't think we're going to be able to do this for
Wait,
too long.
justify it. What did it sound like?
It was just, it was kind of high pitched in a way that wasn't attractive to me.
Sure. Well,
It just,
you would really hate going on dates with gay men then.
well, I actually love to spend time and go on dates with gay men for sure, but I am just not,
Yeah,
that's not what I'm looking for in a romantic partner. It's red
sure, that
flag,
makes sense.
But he also took a phone call on the Zoom date, which I just was very offended by. It was a work call, so I recognize that he is a doctor and it's important. Like he has patients and there can be emergencies, so he had to take the call. But then he didn't mute himself while he was on the phone for work, so I muted him and I was like, I'm just gonna wait for this phone call to be over
Oh
because
my God.
also there's an entire agreement that I'm not supposed to know any personal information for any of his patients.
Oh my
HIPAA.
God. That's like, that is such a bullshit rule, I thought. Is that
It's
real?
real. It's
It's not
real.
real.
He should
Uh,
not be telling people on a first date the intimate details of his patient's hearts.
I think, do you think it was like sort of like a setup? Do you think it was like he was potentially trying to like get you more interested by like, oh, I actually do have a job at a hospital?
Yeah, like, look, I'm busy and I wasn't lying about my job.
I'm not gonna unmute myself. Yeah.
I'm really busy, so just listen to me take a work call. But I was just kind of like, I am not down for this, especially because it's over Zoom. I'm just sitting at my desk with a glass of rosé,
Uh-huh.
trying to be fun and flirty, really pushing the conversation along. Because again, someone who is better over text than they are in person, which is just the story of my life.
Right.
And he takes a call. The call takes what felt like 4 or 5 minutes, which is an eternity when you're over Zoom.
That's so fine. I feel like you like I feel as though like you should have been like, also I'm just gonna leave, like do make
No,
yourself busy.
I was on my phone. I was busy. I'm scrolling on Instagram now. That's
Yeah.
what he gets out of me on our date. But
Hmm.
then we came back from the call and he's like, "Why did you mute me?" And I was like, "Cuz I didn't really want to hear what you were saying on your call." And then
Was he offended?
he was.
Interesting.
He seemed a little offended that I muted him. And
Okay,
then
that to me feels as though my theory was correct then, that he wanted you to know about
right,
this
he's trying to
call.
show off, I
Yeah.
think. And
Yeah.
it just it wasn't going to work. So then kind of immediately after that, maybe only a few minutes later, I was like, okay, well, I have to go.
Yeah.
And
Gosh. Wait,
then,
so did he tried did he you said he followed you on Instagram or
no,
what?
that's actually a different person. But
Wow.
wow. But he then was like, oh, we should do this again sometime. And I kind of freaked out. I had an immediate like, oh my God. Cause I really did not want to do it again sometime. I can kind of tell from the one date that I don't think it's going to work out between us. And so I was like, oh, I kind of screamed a little bit. I was like, ah,
Oh my God.
not fully, but a little bit like, while I was trying to figure out what to say. And then I freaked out. I haven't been dating, I was in a relationship for a year. I bet this is my second date. And now over Zoom, everything has changed very fast. And I just kind of was like, I'm actually just kind of seeing what's out there. But thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
Wait, did you mention to him that you are recently out of a relationship?
No, because we did not really talk about our
Yes.
dating histories because it was very casual, the conversation that we were having so far, because we didn't even
Yeah.
get into that deeper point.
Right. Because I feel as though, like, if you had brought that up, which I wouldn't really initially suggest bringing up for obvious reasons, but I feel as though if you had, it really would have like worked to your advantage, being like the scream of it all.
Yes, the scream of it all would have made more sense if I
Yeah.
had told him, oh, I just actually was dumped a month ago.
And that's
But
why I screamed in
that's why
response
I
to you.
screamed when you were like, let's keep hanging out. And I was like, no.
Gosh.
At least I didn't shout no, because that's kind of what my brain was doing.
I mean, I think the polite thing is to just say like, "Oh yeah, for sure," and then ghost.
I don't know. I'm like, because I don't even want to bother with having to compose a text later. I know, am I ruthless? Everyone just tell me if I'm being totally ruthless and mean to be like, no, I think it was nice to meet you, but I don't think I see this.
How? But, I mean, this man is older, right?
He's 34.
Okay, yeah, he can like take. Okay, so you don't need to ghost him. Yeah, I think you could
No,
just be
I don't
like,
want to ghost him. I just want to be like, we're adults. I don't think this is for me. Thank you
mhm,
for your time. Happy that you're booked and busy and employed,
yes.
taking
I
work
think that's.
calls.
I think that's fine.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but it's just unfortunate because I think it's proving to me that what I'm attracted to from people on Hinge is them being good at banter and texting, which doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be a good person to talk to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It doesn't translate necessarily. And I get disappointed because I'm like, oh, our conversation was so fun over text.
Yeah, but I can't wait to have sex, and it's like you won't even get there remotely
No.
because you can't even hold an actual conversation,
Yeah. No, we're not getting there. And like no birthday sex for me this year.
which is sad. But
Sad, not even a birthday crush.
oh gosh, wait. So like, who's next? There is no potential next
Mm,
suitor, or
well, I still am talking to other people on Hinge right now. Um, I'm interested in an analyst at an investment firm who's 31. Kill me.
okay.
But he's cute and he's nice so far. We'll see.
Right. I mean, like, yeah, you obviously cannot trust anybody
I
in this
can't, no
town.
one's to be trusted yet. But what I liked about him is his opening line was, "This profile seems too good, as if you had outside help." And then your favorite emoji, Andrew the detective. So I was like,
Yes.
"Oh, you Google, huh?" And he was like,
I love that.
so I love that. Yeah, he went and he found that we just recently updated my Hinge as a group.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So he's very interested.
He's interested and he's smart.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
we'll see
okay.
how it goes.
We'll see. So we'll find out if I end up going on another like virtual date with him.
Yeah.
And I guess really that's my receipt.
I love that receipt.
Yeah, kind of
I
fun.
love that they're using my emoji too. That is
Yeah,
a
your
good
emoji.
attachment.
The suspicious
It's like it's the
smiling.
monocle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was looking at my most recent right now is the crying. Like not the crying laughing, it's simply, you know,
the sobbing.
the sobbing, which I was like, "Oh no, I need to work through that actually."
Are you okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just like naturally like putting that out there as like, "Oh no, I have to do this thing," or "Sorry, I cannot go to this." I'm like, "No,
Oh, okay.
I don't want this to be my life right now." You know?
Yeah.
So I'll
No,
work on it.
I want less sobbing, more truly of your monocle guy. I love when you're
I
being a
want
little bit
Monocle to come back.
coming back. I love when you're a little bit suspicious, a little bit frisky.
Yeah. Very suspicious, like wants to know answers. Yeah.
Needs the answers and won't
Yeah.
let them go. Um, well, I'm very excited about our guest for today. She is hilarious. She is also the hottest fucking Dana out there. You know her, you love her. It's Dana Donnelly.
Hi.
Hi, Dana. Thank you for being here.
Oh my God, thank you for having me. Wait, I just noticed, Andrew, are you like obsessed with horses? Is that like a
Oh my
thing?
god. Yeah. So I did have that horse behind me. My
Yeah.
mom gave that to me. And then I do have a horse picture that you obviously cannot see that I'm looking at right in front of me. And then I do have a pin the tail on the donkey right behind me as well. And then Jenny actually made this because of these three horses.
Amazing. Wow. I
Yeah.
was like, that's such an aesthetic.
Yeah. I
Such a
actually don't give a
commitment.
fuck about horses though.
I know.
But that's like your thing now.
It's ultimately my thing.
Yeah, aesthetically, you're a horse girl without actually being one.
Being a girl, yeah.
Yeah.
Or a horse.
Or a horse.
Yeah.
So Dana, how are you? What is going on? How's your pandemic?
I'm good. My pandemic's like okay, all things considered. I moved. I'm just like hanging out. I'm like listening to you talk about dating, and I'm like really glad that I'm like not dating.
Thank you.
Like during the
Yeah.
pandemic, that sounds absolutely so brutal. I like literally like Zoom dates with someone you like don't like that much sounds like truly the worst thing that could ever
Yeah. A
happen.
little bit torturous, a little bit not my favorite activity. But what I do like is that when I left that date that I wasn't that excited about, I was just in my room.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I was
So-
just in my room and I could just continue drinking in my room. You know, the activity could just continue on without, you know,
The Zoom.
the Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's nice. There are pros and cons, I guess.
yeah, there's some pros.
Also, like you get used to everything. It's
Yeah.
just like, whew.
We're
But part of-
adaptable. We're
yeah.
strong.
Yeah. I feel like part of my like the only thing I really liked about dates was like getting like someone else buys me like a $20 cocktail.
Mhm. I
You
do
know?
love that. That is one of the
Yeah.
best parts. And I am kind of missing that right now in this moment. But if ever there's a second date, then I can get a $20 cocktail out of a
This
man.
is true.
But I
Yes.
just I'm not going to do the second date unless I believe that it's worth it for like my health and safety. And also the cold, how cold it is in New York right now. So
I can't even imagine.
yeah, it's like it has to be a huge commitment, honestly, to get the second date out of me. Like I have to really be like, okay, you are hot enough that I want to risk my life for you.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, right.
It is insane. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh
kind
my
of
gosh.
insane. But I'm
High
also
stakes.
yeah, it's very high stakes. But I am getting to the point where I'm like, I would like to be cuddled and loved this winter, and I would like to be having sex this winter. So, you know, I do need to, yeah,
Lock it in.
crossed.
Yeah.
I do.
Hopefully the analyst will come through.
Yeah, he's, you know, just the next victim. and then we'll see from there. I can really only concentrate on one Hinge person at a time, it turns out.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm like monogamous with like really low stakes crushes.
Yeah. It's a lot of effort to have a big crush on someone.
Oh yeah, it's like a
like,
full-time job. I mean, like, it's like I have to, you know, look at their like socials like once every hour, make sure I'm not missing anything.
Oh my God. And then like to have like multiple crushes, like I didn't even realize how much of like a relief it is to like not be engaging with like 5, 7 different people. Like, oh my God, it like you have so much more time in the day when you're not texting all these people.
It's like, yeah, dating is a full-time job. That's why I really like that. Have you guys seen the Black Mirror episode of like it's called Hang the DJ?
Yes.
Yeah, so like I love that concept because it's like your whole life is just devoted to like dating.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that needs to be what it is. If you're dating, it has to be like that's the whole thing.
Yeah, we don't have time to also have a job. Like, just pay me to try to find my soulmate.
Yeah. Is that so hard? Is that too much to ask for?
Right? Come on, government. Hello.
pair us up.
Yeah, just pair us up and let us just do that, please.
Exactly.
Like, why are we working in offices?
We don't need to.
We just
There's
don't.
plenty of resources for everyone. Yeah.
We just do not
pick our legs up. Yeah.
So Dana, you are in a relationship.
I am. Yeah.
That's great. That's a beautiful thing for this moment in time.
It is. It's like, it's really nice. I feel very lucky. I feel very, very fortunate.
How long have you been dating?
We've been dating, let's see, we started dating last July. So like a year and a half almost.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
like
great.
A year and a couple months. Yeah.
You were together pre-pandemic.
Yes. We were together pre-pandemic.
Wow. How have things changed at all now that the lifestyle's different?
Not really, because he was like he like basically lived with me before and now he like actually lives with me now.
Oh, cool. So did you move in together officially?
Yeah, I think he is giving up his apartment finally at the end of the month. But he's like, he's like been with me every day since like the beginning of the year.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. That's so much time together and you're happy and that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like really cool. I've never had anything like this exactly, but it's been nice.
Yeah. I'm just very impressed because it is very meaningful to be like, okay, yeah, we see each other literally every single day. And not only do we not want to murder each other, actually we want to continue to be together.
I know. It's like, actually I'm having a really good time. Yeah, it's crazy. I truly just like never thought I would be in this situation because like I kind of lived with like my college boyfriend for a little bit, but like it was like always like a little stressful. And then like my last boyfriend, he was very like, he wanted like kind of like a formal division between like our lives and like our dating, which was like really weird for someone that like I had been together with for so long.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
He set rules?
Yeah, like kind of like he was basically just like, I need to have boundaries. Like he was just like a little bit like, it was just never gonna be like, we were never gonna be that close because of like the way that he like needed to separate certain parts of his life. Like I feel like you can't be someone who like needs to compartmentalize.
No, not in a committed partnership that's going to become like a team.
Right, exactly.
Because like you can't, if you're not sharing certain friends or certain like experiences, then it's like you're always going to be kind of like,
yeah, like you're always going to be like your own people and you're never going to be like a unit. And I think like what I realized is like I want someone who like is like my partner.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Truly the
Great.
truth. No, I'm so happy for you and so jealous.
Thank you. I'm like, I was like, I always thought about this, but I never wanted, like, there's so few relationships that like of my friends and stuff that I like look at and I'm like, oh, I want that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's so rare I'm like jealous of other people's relationships, or like when I was in relationships, I was always like, oh, my friends are not jealous of this. And if I was not in this relationship, I would not be jealous of this. Do you know what I mean? Because they just like weren't that good. But like, I'm finally in a relationship that like I would be jealous of. And I'm like, that's cool. Like,
yeah, you deserve that.
Because I like never felt like that. Yeah.
That's amazing. You absolutely deserve to be with someone where it's like, it's over for the rest of you bitches. Sorry, I did it.
But like literally everyone deserves that. And like, just like this, Yeah, we really all do. And I
We
think
all
like,
do.
it's not possible, but it's like so hard to find like that person.
Yeah. So were you friends first or?
Yeah, we were friends for months. Like I met him in March and then we didn't start dating until July.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. Do you think that helped kind of to set a foundation?
So much. Also because it made it so that when we started dating, it like we really, really liked each other, but there was like some sort of like precedent for that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So like I like also knew him in a really different context, and like I didn't like him or even like think about him as like a crush or romantic interest until like a couple weeks before we actually started dating. Which is like rare because I feel like every time I date someone, it's like when I see them, I'm like, oh, or like, okay, like whenever I think anyone's kind of cute, I like envision us together, like anyone, like it can be anyone. But like he's like one of the few people I did not like do that with.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, like he just like never was like an option to me or something. Like I don't know why.
That's so interesting because I'm like
Yeah.
any person I'm even remotely interested in, I'm immediately like, what's our wedding like? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Within
Like who's gonna be on the
within
deathbed first? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And,
think
like,
about that constantly. So that's amazing that you were like, oh no, we're friends.
Yeah, we were just like really good friends.
What flipped the switch for you? Like when was it like, oh, actually maybe we're more than friends?
I think it was like, I don't know, honestly. I like really, I don't know. I remember I went on vacation for a week, and then like while I was on vacation, I like realized that I like liked him.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back, I think there was like another week, and then we like went on our first date the week after that.
Wow. And
But it took a while, weirdly.
yeah, was he feeling the same way too? Do you know?
Yeah, I think he also, I don't think like had a crush on me or like was looking at me as like a romantic prospect until like it happened. Like I literally think it was like in the days leading up to us like going on a date, like that's when we both I think were like, no, I like this person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it was,
exciting.
yeah, it was like almost like kind of like middle school in that like it was like this weird thing where I'm like, okay, like if you don't like me, that's insane based on the way you're acting. And like, do you know what I mean? But I'm like, but there's still a chance that you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Like no one is saying what we're really feeling right now.
Yeah, and like neither of us were saying anything. And we were both like so like reserved about it. Like it was so funny.
That is very silly. How did you ask each other out, or like who asked who out?
So he like had been giving me rides. This is so like dumb, but he had been giving me like rides to open mics for like months already. At this point, like he just like drove me to like every open mic, and then like one day he was like, "Oh, do you want to do something like after this or whatever?"
Oh, okay. So you want to get a drink after the open mic?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then very cute. And you knew that was a date, or was it possible it wasn't a date?
I think I knew it was a date.
Okay.
At that point, I think I knew it was a date. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. I love it. It's like, and you never think of an open mic as a means towards romance.
Not
it's just
at all.
the last thing that you think of.
Literally, it's truly insane to me that I did end up like dating like a comedian, I guess.
Yeah, but I see how it's scary and something that generally on the pod we don't recommend. So just so you know, on the podcast, we have made a point to say, actually, no one should date comedians.
The official stance is do not date comedians.
Yeah, the official stance is like no actors, no comedians. Officially.
Very smart. Very smart. That's a good official stance to have, for sure.
Yeah, officially that is our stance. But obviously there are exceptions.
Yeah. And I'm like, but you know when the exception is, I think.
If they're driving you places, like first and foremost. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they're giving you rides, it's probably fine.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and like it's too convenient not to also make that your person. Like, just makes a lot of sense, honestly. Yeah, that's math.
Yeah. Yes. That's math. Yeah.
That's
women
math.
in STEM. Yeah.
That's women in STEM.
Yeah, that's women in STEM.
It is absolutely a woman in STEM move. Just make it more efficient, consolidate. So he's also a comedian. You both, and I will just say this as a third party, are very hot, very funny comedians.
Thank you.
Yes,
so much.
I will say that. So I think they're very well matched in terms of being talented and also attractive.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. Is he the first comedian that you've dated seriously, or just the best one?
I think it's like I've kind of dated other comedians, but like nothing like this. Like I haven't like seriously dated any comedians. And then my last serious boyfriend was like a writer.
Okay.
Like a comedy writer, but like I think that's a whole different animal, if you will. Yeah.
Absolutely a whole other beast.
I do have a question. I hope this is not too intrusive. I am looking at your Instagram now, and he's not on the grid very at all.
He is. He's in some swipes.
Oh, he is in some swipes. Okay.
He's in a carousel. He's not.
Yeah.
But do you have nothing? Well, I was gonna say you have a very specific hot aesthetic where it has to be you forward. The first
exactly
has to be you forward.
I was gonna say it's not so much like I don't want to post him on my grid. It's like I want to post me on my grid more. Like me alone.
It is your
and
grid
also
after all.
He takes the photos most of the time. So it's like
I love that.
He's behind the camera.
So how could he even be in the picture?
Exactly.
Yeah. Job to do.
I did find him in a swipe. I did find him in a swipe. He does look very, very attractive as well. So wow.
There you go.
Winning,
I know. But yeah, like truly winning also that he drives you and takes photos of you.
Literally, that's all I've ever wanted. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fully your team.
Yeah.
You just need to teach him how to do hair, makeup, and then you've got literally the whole crew.
I think that would take a while. Like that would be hard to do, but it's not impossible. Anyone who's willing to learn can.
Right. I agree.
So.
So do you work on jokes together? How is it in terms of like creativity?
So he really helps me with my stuff. Like he's like so helpful. He like anytime we like want to talk through an idea, he always has like a lot of really good ideas. And he like really does like get me and my voice and like could definitely write for me. I feel bad because like I feel like I'm not that helpful to him. Like I feel like it's hard for me to be helpful in the way that he's helpful to me. So like he definitely helps my creative process, but I don't know if I help his creative process.
I mean, you're fun and cute and an inspiration. So
Thank
that's
you.
Enough. You don't have to do any editing. You're amused. You don't have to do editing. He can do editing.
Exactly. Yeah, but like it's really cool creatively. I think it's like really awesome too to date someone that you can like literally just like talk through ideas with, and like someone who also thinks in that kind of like build on that way. Because I think like that's like one thing too with like dating someone who's like not quote unquote creative is that like they don't know how to like add to your idea. Like it's not even ingrained that they would. Like they don't even know that that's what you would do.
Right.
Like if I say something, they don't know that like what I'm looking for is for them to like say something else that'll make me think of something else that'll whatever, you know.
Right. That'll help you build the joke.
Exactly.
Like, the financial analyst that I will eventually go on a date with just doesn't understand. That joke structure. Like you just wouldn't. You just wouldn't.
But the great thing about like potentially dating a financial analyst or whatever that is, I feel as though like you are absolutely like entertaining him always, and he's always going to believe that you're funny. Whereas though I feel as though like when you're dating another comedian, then it's like, okay, like a little bit like a competition where I don't know. Have you found that?
Is it ever competitive?
Not at all.
That's beautiful.
From my point of view.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think so, because I think it's also just like we are like different enough where it's like we're never gonna have the same joke. Like we are such different people, and like we have such different points of view that it's like it's never gonna be the same joke.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes I thought it was funny. I was scrolling through your Twitter, and sometimes you tweet in conversation with each other, kind of like it's like you will say something about your boyfriend taking a photo of you, and he will have the opposite opinion. That's also a joke, but it's clearly about the same situation.
Beautiful.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah. No, it's like it's really nice.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's material for both of you. That's amazing.
Exactly.
I will say the financial analyst I'm going on a date with has already said that he thinks I'm funny.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was in 3 Hinge messages. So
you're winning
already. There you go.
Perfect.
That's what I need though, honestly. I just need people to be like to hype up my self-esteem right now. So I'm like, yeah, please just tell me I'm very funny.
Yeah.
I feel like this will be promising because he seems invested.
And he literally does investments.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So there you go.
He's an expert investor.
Yeah, really good at that. So, Dana, we play a game every episode. So we are gonna do a little segment right now. If you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready. Let's go.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So it's called Quick and Dirty. I'm gonna ask you 4 quick questions, and just give me the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. Favorite flirty emoji?
The wink face. That's like the, you know.
Yeah, I do know. Classic. Favorite opening line on the apps?
Hi. I think that if you're hot, hi should be enough.
Yes, love, obsessed.
Only if you're hot.
Only if you're hot, though, right? You have to try harder if you're not hot.
Yeah.
Best date spot?
Just like a bar.
Okay. Any bar?
Any bar.
Any bar. If it has alcohol, good. Okay.
Yeah.
And double texting, yes or no?
From them or from me?
From you?
No.
Never.
Not early on. No.
Okay.
How about
What
from
about
them?
them?
From them, I think it's also weird. Okay, here's my whole thing. I don't know. Okay, so early on, I think I look, if they don't really try hard to have 3 dates with me, they should be working really hard for at least 3 dates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's I should not feel like I have to double text before we've gone on 3 dates. That's kind of my own mental thing.
No, I love that. I love that as a set of rules. That's
just
because
because
that's really smart.
Yeah, if they're not really into you early on, it's that's only gonna get worse. Those kind of things only get worse.
Right.
I've noticed. Yes.
Yeah, it only gets harder if they're not super invested trying to hang out with you, trying to make you feel special and wanted, right away.
Yeah, I need someone who's so devoted to me. I can't have any sort of half.
Yeah. Yeah, no
Okay.
more. No questioning whether someone is into me anymore.
I literally can't. I'm I don't have time. It's really stressful. It's so unnecessarily degrading.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this weird thing too, because I feel guys feel if guys aren't really obsessed with you, they almost feel guilty, and then they put that on you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Tell me more.
Explain.
Yeah, tell me more.
Okay. So I feel with casual dating,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes guys will know that they don't like you that much.
Mm-hmm.
And that will make them feel bad because they know that you want them to like you a lot.
Okay.
And then they'll project that on you and accuse you of wanting more when they just know you want more and they don't want to give it to you.
Oh wait, so they're just gaslighting you.
Also. Kind of, but I think it comes from a place of we as a culture, we know other people's expectations of us, but we don't always want to meet them, and there's no good polite way sometimes to tell people that you don't want to meet their expectations.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because knowing that you're going to disappoint someone then makes you not want to take the blame for that, especially as a straight man.
Right.
To take responsibility for that is too scary.
Yeah, they're they really don't want to disappoint people, but it's they know that they will.
Right. Yeah, I've experienced that for sure. Recently, I think the breakup that I just had could have happened maybe a month earlier, but I wasn't going to do it. But that last month was very hard. And I think he kind of already knew that he wasn't as interested in me anymore.
Yeah, and it's this really weird thing where I think I've seen guys do it more often than girls, I think, where they just drag something out because they just don't, they aren't ready to let it go, but they also can't say that they will never be able to meet the expectations that you have of them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you're really onto something.
But I don't know.
I think you are. I'm just thinking about I was kind of having a problem with I've been really emotional and needing a lot of support during this pandemic, especially
understandably
creative. Yeah. So especially someone who is not performing or getting the validation that I'm usually used to, finding other avenues for doing that. And it's been really, really hard to kind of cope with. And it's been a long mourning period, basically, of just being oh, my life has changed so much and I don't really know how to identify myself anymore. And I'm sad.
Yeah.
So,
that's the worst. Yeah.
Horrible, really hard. And I think it was really hard on my ex because he knew he couldn't meet my needs.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's like a thing too, is it's like sometimes like you're dating someone and you do really like them, but you're like, there's just something where I'm never gonna be able to give you what you need. And I think that's like what happened with my last boyfriend too, where like there was just a certain point where it's like we just like weren't compatible, and I think like he knew that, but I think he did really like me and he did try really hard, but there just like was like something that was always gonna be missing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's hard. It's very painful.
Yeah, it's really shitty. Also, because I think there are so many people that you date that are like almost right.
Yeah.
Like it's like, and so it's like it's hard to move on from like those kinds of things when they like seem almost right, because you're like, well, maybe I'm just being like weird, or like maybe I'm being picky, or like maybe like if we just do this or blah 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 blah. But I'm like, no, I think like things are kind of like right or they aren't. And I think like I've kind of like for myself, I'm like, no, I think like things work or they don't.
Right.
And like the faster that you can like figure out if it's gonna work or if it's not, like the better off you'll be.
Yeah. That makes
Like
sense.
I think I personally started like breaking things off like a lot faster after like my last long-term relationship, just because I was like, okay, if I feel this way this early on, like it's just like we're never gonna be in a place where I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's very smart, and also shows just like a lot of like self-love, I guess. Like being confident in yourself and like what you need and what you deserve in a relationship too.
But also, yeah, like just feeling like I literally couldn't like take that anymore. Like I couldn't take the kind of like like the person who like they do want to hang out with you and they do like you, but they don't like you as much as you need to be liked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like that's like the most painful kind of relationship, I think, where it's like it's so close. Like it's like it really is like almost there, and it's just like but it will never be there.
Right.
Mhm.
And we just can't force it or stay in
Yeah.
it too long, or
I
we're
think
gonna feel
like I think I
shitty.
forced I think I forced like way too many things.
Yeah, I've definitely done that too. And I think it's hard because you don't know that your next relationship will be better. You're like, when will I find a relationship that'll be better? Am I going to find one that's right for me? And what truly I love about talking to you, Dana, is that you're in one right now that is like so much better and good for you.
Yeah, I mean like knock on wood, but yeah, like I'm like I like literally like this relationship has made me like very aware of like how not really right my last relationships were.
Yeah. That's gorgeous.
But again, like I think I didn't find this until I started like actively like cutting off things that weren't working really early.
Well, it's like you need to like have these really like shitty experiences like that progressively. I feel like get less shitty, you know, until like it's like okay, like this is the tiniest little shit that I'm putting up with at this point, you know. And so like it's nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, and it's really true that I mean, I dated some people who were horrible to me in my early 20s, and that was important.
Yeah, it's important. It is important because it's like it is like realizing like you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be with you. Like I think like that was like the biggest like thing for me to realize, because like I think I spent so much of my early 20s dating guys who like just didn't really like me or even like see me as a person. And like my whole goal was like, how do I get them to like me? How do I get them to see me as a person, as opposed to like just finding someone who like already did.
Right. Yeah. It's like, how do I change this person? How do I change them?
Right. When it's like it's so much easier to just find a different person.
Yeah.
Like in theory, but it's like you don't feel like that, and you don't like know that when you're that young. And it's like it's something you have to do and like go through to learn.
Yeah, it's like awful that we all need to go through it. And then I also like think about like people that are like still together from like high school, where it's like you sort of like jumped over this obstacle. Like what are you missing now? Like what sort of like cues are you missing because you didn't have these awful experiences like the rest of us? You know, like where are we not connecting, you know?
It's so it's so bizarre to me. Like I know so many kids from my high school who got married to each other. And it's like weird because it's like I'm not even like from like a small town. Like it's like a very like you know whatever like a nice neighborhood where like most people like move to cities. Like it's like a nice suburb. And it's like it's so weird to me that like so many people from my high school like got married. And like a lot of them like broke up after high school and then got back together like after college.
Yeah.
Wild.
And so like you can't talk to those people about like shitty dating experiences.
Right, because they just like never actually like just like dated
can't
as
relate,
adults.
yeah.
I think like dating in your early 20s is like such a unique specific experience, and like there's just nothing like it.
That is universally awful. Yeah.
Yeah, just
and like
horrible.
I literally also think like when you're in your early 20s, people feel more comfortable being shitty to you than like they ever will at any other point in your life.
Right. I agree. Because well, I mean, also everyone is just kind of figuring out what the line is. They're like, how she, like,
what can I get away with?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what are like interpersonal expectations of me? I think it's just like so weird too, because I've realized like in dating, it seems like there are certain people who don't even have it in them to like treat you as like just like a human being. I'm like, I'll date people and I'm like, you're being meaner to me than you would like a coworker.
Yeah.
Like you're not even like treating me with the dignity that you would treat like your neighbor who was like texting you about something. And it's like, where does that come from? Like, why do you think like because we're like sleeping together, you can like be meaner to me than you would like just like a random person?
Right. And it should absolutely be the opposite.
Right.
The second that you've been naked
not
together,
for some reason.
Yeah, the second you've been naked together, I think you should be nicer than you've ever been to any person before.
You would think, but I'm like, I learned from dating culture that like literally that makes people feel like they can be even meaner to you.
I remember when I was 21, I was talking to someone for like probably like a week or so, and I like walked past him on the street and we didn't acknowledge each other, but we saw each other. And then I remember getting home and seeing that he unfollowed me on Instagram. And I'm like, that's just like so fucking rude. It's so mean. And it like obviously like destroyed me at the time. I'm like, oh my God.
Of course. It's like
when people do things like that, I'm like, how do you do that? Like I've never had it in me to like do something like that. Like it just wouldn't even cross my mind. Like it's just so unnecessarily mean.
Well, they need to think like so highly of themselves, you know, like that like sort of like puts like coins in their own bucket of just like, hey, like, yeah, I did that, you know, like I'm above this person.
Yeah, but it's like it's so bizarre because it's like, yeah, that's just like another human being.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With feelings. Who doesn't want to feel
exactly.
like garbage you're done with, even though you did something intimate.
Insane.
At a certain point. So insane. I'm really sorry that happened, Andrew.
Oh no, it's okay because
that's
that was like in between, like that was before I was in a relationship. Then I got back into a relationship. Then that relationship ended, and so like that was so more recently I was on the apps again, and that person messaged me again.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. Like I have the power now, and so like I'm just not going to respond.
Good.
Don't know if they actually took it in, if they were hurt by it, but no.
Yeah, I love that.
I hope they were. No.
Yeah. I love that you didn't give them anything. Just like, no, sorry. You remember.
I remember.
Remember.
I don't think that they remembered like that unfollowed fiasco. Yeah.
I would never forget. But I mean,
that was a day of my life that I'm like, okay, like that's so shitty that you hated the way that I looked so much that you were trying, like you wanted to disengage. Yeah.
You're like, I need to cut all ties with this
person.
Yeah.
It was absolutely
That's so
horrendous.
fucking cold.
Yeah.
So mean. So mean. I know. And like the lies that people think they can get away with too when they're dating someone. It's just like, just because we've like started going on dates doesn't mean that you don't have to tell me the truth anymore.
Yeah, I know. That's also really bizarre. Like, I'm just like, truly, what is it that like when you start dating someone like casually, they feel like they have like a license to just be like so fucking mean to you? Like, I'm like, I don't know where it comes from. It's mind-boggling to me.
It is mind-boggling. I feel like maybe people are scared to be honest and vulnerable, and then they're like, I will be a dick. But we would just all be better off if, you know, if you don't like someone anymore, tell them kindly.
Yeah.
Don't waste their time.
It's also just like easier because I'm like, I've dated so many guys who like I've ended up sending like a literal psycho bitch essay long text, like being like, fuck you, I've never talk to me again. And I'm like, wouldn't it have been nicer to not have to receive that had you just been like, hey, I don't think like we're looking for the same thing, but like it's been really nice to hang out with you. Like, wouldn't you have rather sent that as opposed to like having to like look at this like fucking like essay of like someone whose feelings you hurt? Like, I would literally hate to read an essay from someone whose feelings I hurt. Like, that would like literally make me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truly vomit and think about on it before bed every night for
like I literally would, it would make me physically ill. Everyone, this is like my receipt is like from someone that like, again, like it's like I don't even know them, but like it was just like a mean email that I think about all the time.
Oh my God, we got to read it.
Yeah, okay. So I actually deleted the email because I realized it hurt me too much to even like look at or have evidence of it. But I have my outgoing email, and then I'll summarize the response.
Perfect.
I forgot how much it traumatized me, but it like really traumatized me.
I love it, and I hope that we're giving you some catharsis today.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
We'll give you some release.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? Should I tell the backstory? Okay. So basically, a couple months ago, I saw this dog on Pet Finder, and I'm like, I'm kind of looking for a second dog. I'm kind of not. Do you know what I mean? Like, if it's the right dog, I do want it, but like, it's like I just want a friend for my dog. My dog's 2.
Right.
And so I found what?
You're just seeing what's out there.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what's out there. I'm shopping around. I'm looking. And if it's meant to be, it'll be. So that's kind of like my feeling with like my second dog. And so I found this dog that I thought was really cute on Pet Finder, and I filled out an application, and then I sent like a follow-up email because I like wanted to see the dog. And she was like, and we talked on the phone. I was on the phone with the lady who owns the rescue, and she seemed fine. And I set up an in-person visit with the foster of the puppy, who was like a different, like, who was just like a random foster. I went to her house. My dog played with the dog, and they like didn't get along like super well. And like my sister didn't really like vibe with the other dog that much, and like my boyfriend didn't really vibe with the other dog that much. And so I was like, so I sent an email because I sent an email that was like, "Hi Terry." Okay, I'll just read it to you. "Hi Terry, I loved Mickey so much, and so did my dog, but unfortunately the people I live with are having cold feet about another dog. He's absolutely precious, and if I had my way, I would adopt him. But thanks again for being so accommodating, and I hope he finds a perfect home."
Beautiful.
She said,
beautiful.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was
really
nice.
nice.
She sends me an email back that's like, basically, to summarize, was like, how dare you waste the time of the foster and my time, and you should have been 100% sure, like blah 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 blah. And like I hope, and then she ended it with like, I hope you are more considerate of other people's time in the future. And I was just like absolutely blown away. Also, because I'm like, if the foster hadn't liked me, they wouldn't have let me adopt the dog anyway. Like, it was a meet and greet to see if there was like good chemistry both ways.
Yeah,
and it's like
the point of the whole thing. That's the point.
And she literally was like, you wasted everyone's time. And it was just like, they truly like just like cut me to the core. Because also I realized when I send like apology emails, like, hey, like, I'm sorry, but like blah blah blah, my worst fear is getting something back that's like that. And like, it's weird because you never do. Like, most of the time when you send like, hey, like blah blah, but it's not gonna work out, the other person responds and they're like, hey, no worries, like take care, or like whatever. Like, usually it's like not a big deal, and the other person usually does not respond like that. But it's like, I'm always dreading that they will. So this was like confirmation of like my worst fears. Like, the email she sent me was like literally the email that I was worried she was gonna send.
It's like, almost like she's never been on a bad date before.
Yeah,
right? Like, yeah. I'm like, haven't you ever just like not, it just doesn't work out?
It's like, baby girl, like, every single moment of her life has been a quality moment that has never been wasted. And you did that. You did that for her.
Like, oh, I wasted your time? I'm like, what are you talking about? I was just like, yeah, like, I had a 5-minute phone call with this lady, and like, that's all. That was all the time.
Oh
yeah. 5 minutes is truly nothing. And it's important that if the two dogs don't get along, then it's not gonna work out, baby.
Yeah. And that's like what the whole point, that was the whole point of the interaction, was to see if they like,
it almost seems like she wasted her time writing this long,
no,
lengthy
that's what
email.
I mean. Like, yeah, like, it was just like, it was such a weird, like, angry email. Like, there was so much like anger behind it and like vitriol that I'm like, this just can't possibly be about me and this one dog.
No.
Right? Like, I'm like, there must be something else going on with you that you feel like you want to be mean to someone you had a 5-minute phone call with.
Like, she's going through a divorce or something. She's
right?
got she's got
like, she
other
must be
shitty trauma moment, and she's like, I will take it out on the cute young people in California who want a rescue dog.
Who want a rescue dog. But I'm like, literally, like, it shook me to my core. Like, I deleted it immediately because I was like so fucking like, I was just like terrified and upset, and like, I just like, it made me feel like shit. And I'm just like, oh, like the power that like a random stranger can have over your day. Like when a stranger just like randomly chooses to be mean to you, that like really can fuck you up.
Yeah, it definitely sits with me for more than it should. And I will be thinking about it forever. I'll just be like, what did I happen? Did I do something?
This email was sent October 1st, and I still think about it like every day.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but I mean, you did nothing wrong. You were being responsible. You were like,
I thought so.
Dude,
I was like, I'm not doing anything wrong. But
no. You got to make sure the whole team, your dog, your boyfriend, who's ultimately going to be the one who's going to drive the dog, who's going to take photos of the dog.
Exactly.
You know, he's going to like the dog too. And,
and
I understand his sister's opinion being very important also.
Yeah, she like lives here. Like it's her dog too.
Yeah, and
like,
sisters often get what they want in terms, so that's the thing about sisters.
Especially younger ones.
Yeah, younger sisters get what they want a lot of the time. And you're like, okay, well then that's what we're doing.
Anyway, yeah, so that was like literally probably the most brutal like communication that I've had with anyone in a very long time.
So upsetting, especially since you would think that she's a woman who is trying to help animals.
Right.
I know, that's also what I'm like, you're on an animal rescue. I'm like, you could be like a little bit more compassionate. Like, what is wrong with you?
Maybe she doesn't like people. She might be one of those weird people who doesn't like people and only likes animals.
Yeah, and that is such a type of person. Like the people who like leave all their money to their pets and stuff like that. Like cut their children out of their wills. They're like, my dogs are getting everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You made me feel bad at Thanksgiving one year. You'll never see my money ever again.
Like, but people are like that, and it's absolutely insane. Like,
yeah, truly fucked up.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for going through that trauma with us.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm like, I was rereading my email to her, and I was like, this is really a good email.
Yes,
it's like crazy. Precious. It's crazy that she was so rude.
So crazy.
But she was just trying to pass on that energy to you ultimately, which is so fucked. Yeah.
I know. Like, right. She was taking whatever she was upset about, and she was like, I'm going to make this girl feel like absolute fucking shit.
Yeah. And I feel like ultimately, like, yeah, like I feel as though the way that you're responding is like probably like what she wanted, you know, which is really messed up. So, yeah.
Yeah. Because we do have to remember at the end of the day that the whole team of people that went over to that house, you, your sister, your boyfriend, everyone is like very attractive and talented. So,
right.
You know, thank you. Yeah.
Definitely a very like, you know, a gorgeous, intimidating group of people that maybe she's jealous of. Sorry.
Maybe. Yeah. My mom always says that people hate when like young women like laugh. She's like, a lot of people don't like it when like young women are having a good time.
Oh no.
She's like, or like whenever people are like mean to me and my sister, my mom's like, they're jealous of your joy.
I love that.
I'm just like that. But like, it's like, it is true to a point. Cause I'm like, I definitely think like people sometimes just don't like it when other people are happy.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it just drives them crazy.
Yeah. If you're an unhappy person. So I feel like that is the story of this lady. And like, truly, yeah, she's upset of your joy.
Yeah.
So has your mom given you any good dating advice?
Let's see. No, my mom. Okay, so my mom is like recently widowed, so she's like also like technically on the market, although she has a new boyfriend. But she in her widows group, she like always talks about the dating. So they had a dating coach come to their widows group, and the dating coach I think like said a lot of things, and I'm like, well, that's dumb. But the dating coach essentially was like, men don't want funny women. Men want a woman they can just like fall asleep next to. Like they want a woman that they don't find intimidating, like blah, 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 blah.
Oh my
God.
Like,
and my mom like told me and my sister this like in just like such a serious way. And we were both like, well, then that's not the man we want to be with. I don't want to be with like a man who like doesn't want me to like be funny or whatever.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the gender of the dating coach?
She was a woman. She was like a woman. Yeah, she was like a woman in her like early 60s.
Yeah,
and like she's advising.
She sounds like she's coming out of the 1950s. Like it feels like a 50s dating manual.
Yeah, it's like very like Miss Manners, like very like a little antiquated. Where I'm like, if a man like doesn't like respect me and like want like all the parts of me, and he like expects me to be quiet, like it's like I don't like
Then
why would
no.
I don't want him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you. He can stay away.
Right, like I don't
Actually.
need a man so badly that like I should have to like alter my behavior in any way.
No, and like you can't help but be hilarious. So
Exactly, you know?
what? Like, what are you gonna do?
But it was
Right.
really so interesting. So I think like my mom's dating advice generally, like when I was younger, I just remember it being very kind of like
Mm-hmm.
pick me kind of advice where she was like, oh, this is how you get guys to like you.
Okay.
As opposed to like, oh, look for a guy, be yourself, and the guy who likes you will like you. Which like
Yeah.
I think is like kind of the advice that I would give like my daughter.
And I love that's the generations changing.
I know, and it's
I love
awesome.
that.
And like it is so generational. Like, because I'm like, oh, like when you were growing up, like this is just the kind of like expectations and like the norms and like what your parents told you. And I think it also used to be more important to like find a partner.
Yes.
Whereas
Well,
like now I actually think it's like it's not that weird to like not have a long-term partner.
no, there are plenty of people who don't ever have a life partner or have multiple
Yeah.
people over time,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
are like if they want to have a family, will raise one alone. Like they will.
Alone.
Yeah, that happens, or
I
it'll
think
happen
that's, like-
later. You know, or it'll be like
And I
they
think-
don't actually meet the person until their 40s, and that is great and fine. Like it happens. Yeah.
And that's like one of the cool things about like modern life and like women being able to like financially take care of themselves, like and own property. But like I'm like, no, like that's like what's good about it.
Yeah, it is one of the best. You know, we can have a credit card, we can have a house, we can have, you know,
Look at us.
look at us, let's
We're real
go.
people, real members of society.
Again, women in STEM.
Exactly.
Ultimately. Well, beautiful. Honestly, Dana, I think we'll keep your advice to your future daughter instead of your mom's in this instant. So,
Yes.
so you're mommy for today.
I'm mommy.
Yeah. I think Dana, everyone should follow you who's been listening. How do they do that?
On Twitter at Dana D Only, DANADONLY, and then on Instagram at Hot as Dana.
Amazing. This has been so much fun.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was really, really lovely.
Yeah, so lovely to talk to you.
I'm sorry I was late.
You are perfect. It happens. Don't apologize to us. Or actually, literally, I'm going to say what you hope you get back from the apology email. Just like, it's no problem.
No problem.
It's no
Thank you.
problem. We love that
Thank
you're here. It's no
you.
problem.
Pleasure.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much to everyone who was listening. This was Receipts.